As a shipping agent, I am concerned about the impact a Brexit would have on those trade treaties such as the TTIP that are currently negotiated on a block basis in the EU. In your opinion, would a Brexit weaken or maybe even strengthen the UK's position when negotiating those complicated treaties?
TTIP's an interesting one. It's something that gets a lot of people's back up. You know, if you join a trading union, which is essentially what the EU is, it's a group of countries share a small element of sovereignty, they devolve upwards or downwards, whatever way you want to look at it, power over the laws that will make trade work more smoothly. That's radically different from Westminster devolving to us, therefore devolving to Scotland, which you know. So basically, you still own the sovereignty you lend to the EU. The EU as a trading bloc then passes laws and does deals. Part of its job is to do deals like TTIP, like CETA, to try and to first of all protect EU members from unfair competition. So it sets standards and it doesn't let people import. So any country that wants to do a deal with another country, any European member that wants to do a deal with a country that doesn't have a trade agreement with Europe, they have to apply the common EU tariff. Now, that means that there's no backdoor access to the EU without paying, etc. So if you're not a member and you don't have a Norway-style deal which involves the fee, or the Swiss deal that involves a smaller fee but lots and lots of negotiations, which, by the way, every trade deal that I can see takes about an average of about 7 years to do. TTIP's into that sort of area, CETA with Canada's into that area there. If it takes 7 years to do a trade deal, Article 50 of the European Treaty states that after you've actually had a referendum and decide to leave, you've got 2 years to do a trade deal. So, you know, I'm not going to use the word uncertainty, but some people might. But no, actually, what I think would happen, and my honest opinion is, I think they would just actually extend it to at least 4 years. And given that the UK already meets most of the criteria for trading, we meet all EU regulations already. It would be a lot easier to do a trade deal than it would be with, say, America. So it could be done within 4 years. So if the UK were to leave the EU and not do a Norway or a Swiss deal, it would have to do a TTIP-style deal. If it didn't manage to do any of those within 2 years, the common European tariff would apply. Now, for instance, off the top of my head, if I can't remember all the tariffs, but that would be 15% on food and drink. So if Scotland, if there's no deal, then Scotland's food and drink, which is, I think, about half of our exports to Europe, would have a 15% tariff. Yeah, and that, therefore, so just as Scotland does particularly well compared to England out of being an EU member, if we left and the right deal wasn't done, then we'd do particularly badly versus them. You know, so it kind of flips both ways. I don't see the UK on its own having any opportunity to do anything in the timescales it's got other than do deals that are not particularly better than the ones that are already in place. I can't see how the UK on its own could do anything other than go to America and beg for TTIP. And also, you've got to remember that Cameron thinks TTIP is his idea, claims TTIP was his idea, and has promised to put a rocket under it. So I think that if we leave the EU, those that think that leaving the EU would save us from TTIP, I think it would give us a worse version of TTIP than the Europeans want, because the Europeans are actually annoyed with Britain for not allowing them to kick out some of the contentious stuff.